Okay. Am I supposed to leave now? I'm sorry. I don't want to be a dick. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do right now. That was my limit. You guys from California? I want you guys to be pissed off. I meant to say I don't want you guys to be pissed off. Okay? Are you friends with Georgia? I did. Thought that I was clear with her. I guess I wasn't. I'm sorry. She mentioned something about a war, and I just want you to know I don't want to be part of that.
You want to fuck with what my brothers are saying?
Wait. Ow. No, ouch!
You want to fuck with what my brothers are saying? You want to fuck with my family? Fuck!
I know I've asked you the same question 7 days in a row, but did Matt Kavanaugh's check show up? Or?
No, not yet.
Can we check on that?
Why are you wearing a suit?
What? You don't like it, or?
No, it looked good.
Too tight?
No.
Are you lying?
Barry, your sister's on line 1. Barry, your sister's on line 1.
You hot?
No. This is Barry.
Hey, what are you doing?
Hey, I'm just working.
Are you coming to the party?
Yes.
Have you heard about this whole thing between me and Rhonda?
No.
She's acting like she's not going to come if it's going to be at 7 o'clock. What do you think?
About what?
This whole goddamn time issue. What the hell is she talking about? 7 o'clock's not too late. I know it's not. I'm sure of it. But she's acting like it's too late. If you're coming and I just want to make sure you were, then I'm sure it'll be fine. So you're coming.
I'm coming.
Good. Will you call her and tell her then?
Yes.
Thanks, honey.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Barry, sister is in line 2.
Okay. Thank you. This is Barry.
Hey, what are you doing?
Hi, Kathleen. I'm just working.
Have you heard about this whole thing between Rhonda and Susan?
Yeah.
So what are you doing?
I'm working.
I mean, right now, what are you doing?
I'm talking on the phone to you. I'm just standing.
What time are you gonna be there?
7 o'clock.
You can't be late.
Okay.
I'm serious.
Okay.
Seriously.
Okay.
You can't be late, though.
Okay.
You can't just not show up like you do. You have to go.
Okay.
Seriously.
Okay.
You can't just stay in your house.
Okay.
I'll see you there.
Okay.
Don't puss out.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Barry, your sister's on line 1. Barry, your sister's on line 1. Barry, your sister's on line 1.
This is Barry.
Hey, it's me. You need to pick up the cake for me because I ran out of time and I'm working and Nicholas has got t-ball practice, so I just can't get the cake and you have to.
I don't know if I can. I have to
Take
work.
me off the fucking speakerphone.
Okay.
Anyway, I need a simple favor, please. Pick up the cake and bring it. Fuck it. I'll get the cake. What time are you going to be there?
7 o'clock.
All right, I'll see you then.
Is that okay? Okay.
Yeah, I'll see you then.
Okay.
I'll see you
Bye-bye.
then. Bye-bye.
Barry, your sister's on line 1.
So what did Anna say?
Well, she called me from work last night saying 6.
Mm-hmm. I can be there at 6 if that's what time it's supposed to be.
It's at 7.
Okay. Either way, I can make it. Whatever you guys say.
Don't start confusing what time the party is.
Okay.
It's confused enough right now without you starting in.
All right.
All right, well, I'm probably not going to get there until 8 anyway, because they'll all be late, And I know for a fact Walter doesn't get home until 7:30. So this is all just nonsense anyway.
Okay, well, I'll see you at the party tonight.
Okay, I'll see you then.
Okay, bye.
Oh, Barry, I got a new cell phone.
Oh, good.
Do you want to call me on it right now?
Sister is in line 1. Okay. Can I call you back in a few minutes?
Sure, no problem.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay.
This is Barry.
Hey, it's me, it's Rhonda.
Hey.
Have you heard about this whole thing going on about what time the party is? Hang on a second. What are you doing? Don't touch that! Do not do that! No, I'm telling you, please don't touch. Why are you touching that? Leave it alone, God damn it! Do not touch that, I said.
You okay?
What time are you gonna be there?
7 o'clock.
Fine, bye.
This is Barry.
No shit. I really need to talk to you because these fucking assholes keep calling and changing what time the fucking party is. And I've had it. I've absolutely fucking had it with all of them. Susan's claiming she won't have the party if it's going to be at 7 o'clock. And as far as I'm concerned, the whole thing is just fucked and there shouldn't be a party. You know what? Can you call me back in like 10 minutes?
Yes.
Bye.
Pongo como una docena, 2 docenas en el pinche plato. Ahí está toda la feria que pagué para el pinche buffet.
Y después todo llega a tu casa, ¿verdad? Que no te comes todo allá. Te lo quitan y ponen la carne cocida. Una vez yo conocí a alguien.
Barry, your sister's on line 1. Barry, your sister's on line 1.
Is her car gonna be okay?
It's fine.
Thanks. This is Barry.
Can I ask you a serious question?
Yes.
What if I were to bring this girl tonight, this girl that's a friend of mine from work that I think is really great and I think you'd really like?
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Why? You don't do anything. What's your problem?
I don't want to do that, please.
She's cute and she's cool and it wouldn't have to be a big deal. We could just make it like it's not a big deal. I could just bring her. She seems into going.
You'd all be looking at me.
All right, well, I might just bring her anyway.
Yeah, no, please.
Then tell me why. Why would it be a problem if I brought her?
I can't be myself.
What? That's
I
your
would
fault,
get
not mine.
tense and I feel
What?
judged by everybody.
Oh my
Can you hang
God.
out for a second?
You know what? Hello? Oh my God. This is bullshit! Barry.
Hi.
Hi, guess what? I'm bringing her anyway.
Okay, I don't want you to, all
As
right?
my friend? I can't bring her as my friend?
You'd all be looking at me.
What's wrong with looking at you? I can bring her as my friend if I want. It doesn't have to be about you. Why is it always about you? Why is it always about you? Why the hell is it always about you?
So we're talking back to school?
Yeah, I think we can do a good-sized promotion. Be great when the kids are coming back to school.
Beautiful,
so
beautiful.
Probably get your POs in August. Get something into the stores around September.
That gives us plenty of time to get ready. Great.
You guys do guaranteed sale on
We
everything?
back our products 100%. We do ask for a 60 to 90-day display.
I'm sure we can keep it up for at least 6
Okay,
days.
good.
And,
I just saw a little kid running. Fuck that kid. Fuck you, man. You motherfucker. You fuck you. You're so fucking cute. You cock. Shit. Look at that kid fucking running like a fucking fuck. It depends what you want. Shit, I'd like to crack his fucking head open. We can do this right now. You are fucking beautiful, you dumb fucker.
friend of mine, he's fine.
I'm sure.
Fuck you. Shit, I like to fucking cave that kid's head and he's so fucking cute. Crack him over the fucking head with a fucking tire iron, you cocksucker. Running in a circle, that cocksucker, I'd like to kick his fucking teeth out. He's so funny.
Plungers, going back here. Where do you recommend putting the plungers?
You gotta put these next to the toilet paper or in the hardware section. For some reason, that's where they're flying.
Okay, and who's most likely
Saw
to
that little kid running. Fucking adorable.
And obviously kids and young moms with the Aquablast. Who buys the plungers? Is that husbands for their wives?
Yeah. Aquablast, of course, moms and little kids.
Happy? I'm happy.
Yeah.
Jeremy Blake's work has always interested me because he was working beginning in the mid and late 90s when digital art was really getting a lot of popularity as computers became more ubiquitous, and he was able to, I think, bring certain ideas that were important in the development of digital art, but bring them really into a contemporary art context and really have them speak to people that had an immersion in like the history of painting or sculpture, for example. So he was able to kind of be fluent in different discourses in a way that not many people were in that time.
One of the projects I inherited as the new curator at Thread Waxing Space was an exhibition called Spectacular Optical, named after the eyeglass store in David Cronenberg's Videodrome. And so Jeremy and I spent a lot of time talking about Cronenberg's films and really decided, and this was 1997-8, that the obvious themes of like bodily damage and creative disease were far less interesting than the architectural, spatial concerns of Cronenberg's early works. This became sort of the basis of the thinking around the exhibition itself, which included Jeremy's work, predominantly a set of sea prints that were digitally rendered sets for fictitious films, as well as fake movie posters.
It's interesting that your first collaboration with Jeremy Blake was a collaboration around a filmmaker's work.
Mm-hmm.
You were working as a curator in a contemporary art context, and Jeremy, been trained as a painter, but was working also in video games and things of that nature. Was it like a different kind of experience at that point to go to an artist's studio and see that they're working in this digital manner?
We kind of joked about that all along because in a way, he didn't see himself in that manner as someone reliant on new technology. He was really more interested in the sort of self-obsolescence of technological tools and ideas which he framed around architecture, really, about like utopias of the past, the futurism of the past.
Of those 60s utopian ideas.
Architects who basically imagined a future that was as yet unrealizable through computer technology. So for a studio visit, I would have been looking at works on paper that were typewritten fragments of screenplays with drawn elements, mixing together references to The Wizard of Oz, John Cassavetes, down-and-out characters. The one I'm talking about that was later published by Works on Paper in Los Angeles was called One Hit Wonder. I mean, that's the kind of character that Jeremy was obsessed by.
There's something interesting about the idea that he already wanted to embrace the computer as one medium that blended fluidly into an overall artistic practice. At that time, in the late 90s and early 2000s, when he was coming into his own as an artist, there was also a sense of artists that were claiming to be special because they used the computer, that they needed to be treated differently through and seen through a different lens. And so thinking of the computer as just another artistic tool was a different kind of position.
Yeah, there was definitely no sort of fetishizing of technology when it came to what available tools he was using. It was a very conscious mixing of formats.
And one of his main digital formats was working in Photoshop, which was released in 1990. So already by the mid and late 90s, it was a pretty sophisticated tool. You could do things within it, like create an image composed of different layers and quickly shift between a number of different perspectives. And so the same digital file might be outputted as a C print, or it could be turned into a video where the layers are fed through After Effects and animated to create a sort of moving composition, which I've seen in interviews Jeremy Blake would sometimes call time-based paintings.
Right.
Several years after you showed his work at Thread Waxing Space, Jeremy Blake was in a couple of major shows that looked at the art of the digital era, the 010101 show at SF MoMA and Bitstreams at the Whitney. And both of those shows were an effort to sort of look at the effects of digital technologies on art, to sort of foreground those questions. And it's especially interesting to think about that in relation to Punch Drunk Love, which is a film where digital technology is entirely absent for the most part, and looking back to a kind of pre-digital lifestyle.
Yeah, it's funny because by the time Bitstreams happened, The piece that Jeremy exhibited was not projected. It was a piece for flat screens, a sort of constellation of monitors. And this really ushered in this term, the digital painting, which obviously is a problematic term because it really talks about how one can monetize and make appealing the digital work, meaning it's like a couch painting, but it moves.
Yeah, I remember an interview where he talked about Truffaut's Fahrenheit 451. This is like the dystopia of modernism. That it was like the failure of all the futuristic ideas that modernism had brought. Painting has kind of come to this point where now it's so merged with technology as this somewhat like almost sinister kind of experience.
Right. He would talk about how these moving abstractions could haunt representational space. And this kind of illusion that modernist painting was somehow like devoid of like content or something, and would sort of interject something of a disturbance into those works.
And you see that in a lot of the time-based paintings, especially beginning with Bungalow 8. You see architectural interiors, which are very geometrical, and then they begin to sort of disintegrate as these other kinds of abstractions move in.
You see like a glittering skyline, but then it turns into the beam of light from a helicopter that's surveilling a neighborhood. This kind of utopian ideal, like going really rancid into a much more oppressive style of architecture. Or even like in the earliest digital paintings, you see like an image of shag carpeting, but there's always these little glimmering cocaine dust particles. You know, there's always some kind of like weakness or failing or decadence that kind of disrupts the scene.
The space itself is always shifting around you, partitions moving in and out in a lot of these works.
All those glass doors.
And so you never quite know where to locate yourself. It's a very unstable kind of place to be, which I think does sort of relate to the way that they're made. I've looked back at some of the original Photoshop files, and there would be just dozens of layers, and it would all be like these different potential views of the same digital work. And then when they would be transferred to video, you would end up with one possible version in time of a digital file that had a lot of different potential
It's unstable.
views. Yeah.
I thought it would be important to mention Jeremy had worked on and off for gaming companies, but perhaps more significantly as a collaborator on games and animated films made by his partner, Teresa Duncan. And so how it influences his own artwork, I think, is interesting to think about because more narrative aspects start coming into the video work. I remember his obsession with The Kid Stays in the Picture, the Bob Evans book. And so a sort of increasing interest in storytelling, I think, really grew out of working on these animated features. I mean, what was really fun about being friends with Jeremy and Teresa is that they were so un-New York-y. Like, they would wear colors and had like a very healthy distrust of that kind of down and out New York attitude. So I remember talking to Jeremy about, the rationale for heading west was to work with P.T. Anderson on the film, but there was also an interesting ulterior motive, which was that Jeremy wanted to have a painting studio again, returning to an actual studio space rather than the space of the computer screen.
I think that the film shows a really keen appreciation for what Jeremy was trying to do as an artist in the way that it's used narratively within the film. There's really 4 moments where Blake's artwork is used. One is towards the beginning. It's a kind of scene setter, I think sort of characterizing Barry Egan. And then the next 2 points in the film where it's used are both connected to the mattress man.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, yeah.
How do you know this guy's rich?
He said he was gonna diversify
Diversify what?
his business.
And what is his name?
Barry Egan.
By using the Jeremy Blake artwork, I think it establishes the mattress man as this kind of like psychological space for the main character. And it reminds me of how a lot of Blake's artwork was trying to portray this psychological condition, that there would be images that represented things, but then there was also a desire to represent something that transcended representation.
Right. There was a real interest in the sort of hallucinatory aspects of like inner life. There's like a passage in One Hit Wonder where the character says, you know, I blacked out and had some very vivid dreams. It's basically, a hallucination, occurring during, I don't know, sleep or being passed out, right? So what appears almost as abstract passages and like movement of lines in the work that Jeremy made for the film, they almost always sort of resolve themselves with some sort of almost a look at the sky or what appears to be like twinkling stars in darkness. So it's almost like each time it's like the character's inner life behind closed eyes, and then the eyes open and it's like you're passed out in a field or you woke up in the parking lot. So the representational aspects are kind of in cahoots with the hallucinatory imagery.
There's like 2, I would kind of characterize them as like these 2 different hallucinogenic sort of feelings. There's like twinkly stars, and then there's like the chromatic lines, which feel like a very orderly musical kind of composition. But then there are these smears as well, and the smeary ones are more like unsettling, and it's the smears that are connected in the film to Mattress Man, which somehow seems to represent the underlying anger connected with Barry Egan's sexual desire. I think that when a colorful image like the abstractions that Blake was making for that film, when they work well, they're affecting your kind of whole sensorium. So that's when people talk about a painting being musical. It's not just your vision that gets affected, but your kind of whole body gets implicated in it.
Jeremy collaborated a lot with musicians and, came from like the DC punk scene. That was just something inextricable was sound. And he was definitely someone who would give you a mixtape as a present or be making a record cover, CD cover at the same time as making artwork for a show.
I think the Punch Drunk Love, viewing it always makes me think of the ideas that he worked out around Winchester, where he's taking this interest in California landscape and in haunting and in abstraction and applying it to the sort of specific subject of the Winchester mansion.
Jeremy's sort of cinematic interests were quite vast. I remember watching Junior Bonner, was a big favorite Peckinpah film. But I was more into horror movies. So we talked a lot about Dario Argento, but also Polanski's Repulsion, and how Polanski realized that through, actual, physically. So this idea that like, things you could make as a prop or set trick, Jeremy was doing more with computer animation. We talked a lot about Suspiria, like what could be accomplished with like one red gel and a scary soundtrack. Sort of led up to, I think, where he was headed with the sort of psychological content of Winchester.
One of the things I really like about Winchester is that the mansion itself is in San Jose. It's in the heart of the Silicon Valley where the computer kind of comes from. It's like this weird haunting within the computer industry. And it's this weird relic of the California architecture of the past. It's actually right next to an old Cinerama movie theater with like a big dome roof. And so it feels like this holdout, surrounded, of course, by the contemporary Silicon Valley architecture of a beige strip mall and that sort of thing. The mansion was built by the Winchester heiress because she thought she was haunted by the victims of gun violence.
Yeah, so it was more the sort of addition of like disparate parts onto the original structure that created this sort of labyrinth of rooms, stairwells that go nowhere, sort of architectural manifestation of like her disturbance by the ghosts of her past.
Blake shot footage of the space on Super 8 film, I believe, and then introduced digital abstractions into that footage. So it follows the similar structure of the abstraction kind of erupting within scenes and beginning to disrupt and destabilize your experience of what you initially understand in one way and then have to kind of renegotiate your relationship to. Also, there's this soundtrack, and it's really particular because the work would have been shown in a gallery from a digital projection, probably a DVD at that point in time. So the film sprocket sound was a sound effect. You know, that to me suggests another haunting going on, which is the haunting of digital technology by this sort of like analog past, and looking for all of these different ways of connecting up unexplored parts of what got us to this point.
Right, it's like this anachronistic sound that creates like this sort of uncanny space that you're in, like shifting between the digital, the analog, the haunting of one by the other.
At the point in time when Jeremy Blake began to be described as a digital painter, the term was considered to be really novel and challenging to people's understanding of what a painter was. You know, people think painting is painting and digital art is digital art, but increasingly for artists themselves, there's more of a continuity among different forms of practice on the computer and off the computer. In addition to sort of foreshadowing that fluidity, I think he was able to elaborate a set of concerns around figuration and representation in relation to the American West and cinema and the history of modernist abstraction. I think that he had a kind of project that was like pursued over a period of years that really is what makes an artist great. And incorporating the computer into it really stands as an important artistic accomplishment.
Right, and I would say that, you know, obviously in the field of cinema, the move from film to digital technologies is a given, but this sort of mutual interest between what is considered the sort of visual contemporary art world and the world of Hollywood and independent filmmaking, you know, that sort of attraction has been going on for quite some time. And it was something that Jeremy thought a lot about from the perspective of a visual artist. He sort of went from like a real examination of film and over time into like an active participation and engagement with filmmaking, but pretty much on his own terms.
I think there's something important about the idea that he was able to bring his practice into the multiplex. And I think there's something powerful in that. To be able to, as you said, explore your artistic practice in a way that holds up in this context, which has a different kind of potential for who might come across it and be inspired and excited about it.
Yeah, I think that's where maybe Jeremy had like a kind of Fassbinder bent, you know, thinking about making art for everyone, you know, that art could be a popular form, like speaking to his generation, not really viewing the work in some sort of
bubble.
Yeah, marginal space of the avant-garde, but really wanting to reach a broader audience, which obviously working with P.T. Anderson sort of furthered that goal, widening the scope of who he was communicating with. So I think that was important to him.
I've gone native now. First I went to a big luau. Connors and Mahoney showed me how. Eating fish and koi, oh what a joy. I've gone native now. Then I strolled up Waikiki Way, where moonlight nights seem like day. Playing my ukulele, oh so gaily. I've gone native now. I've learned to sing Hawaiian to the hula of me too. It came without any trying. What else could I do? My little dance you will adore. Round the island to the floor, with a little wiggle here and a little wiggle there. I've gone native now.
Do you mind if I ask you a question?
Sure.
You know that harmonium that's in your office?
Harmonium?
Yeah, the piano.
Yes, my harmonium.
Did you steal that off the street?
Oh, what's this?
Did you bring it in off the street? You did, didn't
you? Yes, I did.
And you learning how to play it?
Well, I'm trying. I'm not putting on any concerts. But,
I'm sorry, I don't mean to pry, but, you know, with the harmonium and the pudding and everything. But,
that's not prying.
With all that pudding that you bought, you must really travel a lot.
No, I don't travel.
Oh, you want to take a lift? Just here. Here.
You've gotta hope there's someone for you, as strange as you are. Who can cope with the things that you do without trying too hard? You're wrapping all around you. You never know what they will amount to. If your life is just going on without you, it's the end of the things you know. Here we go. Gotta know that there's more to this world than what you have seen. Because we all have a limited view of what it can be. Each one of us feels a little stranded. You can't explain or understand it. Each one of us is on a different planet. And amidst all the twos and
Barry's here?
someone can say,
Take the elevator to the second floor. Turn left to apartment 216.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
feeling that someone really gets you. Well, it's something that no one should object to. It could happen today, so I suggest you skip your habit of laying low. It's the end of the things you know. Here we go.
Pass out of communications range over the backside of the moon.
Cause someone can say, hello, you old soul.
Okay, all flight controllers, go for landing. Retro. Econ.
Here we go.
That's right next door in 216.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry about that.
Anytime. Have a great day.
Tranquility Base, Houston, you're cleared for takeoff. Roger, understand. We're number 1 on the runway.
Who is it?
Hi, Barry.
Your tropic nights and your wonderful times are ever in my memories. And I recall as I held you in
thank you too for finding me and taking me from my hotel. My darling, my dear, let's go for a ride now. I'll take you from yours if you take me from mine. I love you.
$0.99. Pudding.
I'm gonna go and eat tomorrow night. Do you want to go with me?
Sure.
Hey, this is Dean Trumbull for the Mattress Man. Give me a call at 370-0466. For limited time only, D&D Mattress has queen mattress sets for $99 and king sets for $129.
Shit! Oh, man, you all right?
Oh, yeah.
Shit, man, you okay?
I was afraid that was going to happen. I'm afraid it was gonna happen with that goddamn thing.
You all right? Sure you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Did you try your arm and stuff? He's
Yeah,
all right.
I'm
He's wearing leather.
Fucked up my guitar though.
Check.
Did you get it on film?
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah.
You want to keep that take? Like a 7-foot drop. It's good. Dude, we have to do that all over again.
Philip Seymour Hoffman is entering the studio right now.
Hello, nice to meet you, Philip. Lawrence. If you can have a seat here, please. Thank you very much. Voilà, Philippe Seymour Hoffman qui rentre en direct sur le plateau de télévision festival, ainsi que Paul
has
Thomas
just
Anderson.
entered the studio.
Hello, come on in. Nice to meet you, Lawrence. Please, have a seat. Hello, sorry. Hello, Lawrence. Nice to meet you, Emily. Want to have a seat, thank you. Hello, Adam. Lawrence, nice to meet you. It's a great pleasure. Please. Yeah, if you want. Yes, here, please. Thank you very much. Et on attend Paul Thomas Anderson qui va venir nous
And we're
rejoindre dans un
still
instant. Voilà, on est
awaiting
toujours en direct donc
Paul Thomas Anderson, who will join us in a moment. So we're here live in the TV Festival studio, and we are very pleased to have Adam Sandler with us.
Voilà, on va lui mettre une oreillette. Ça y est, vous entendez tout ce que je dis, Adam? C'est bon?
Can you hear what I'm saying?
Je disais merci infiniment.
I wanted to thank you for being with us because we weren't certain to have you here for this live interview. Little makeup for Emily Watson. We saw the film this morning. You are just wonderful. You seem to have enjoyed the role so much.
What happened? What did you say to me?
Que vous êtes formidable dans le film.
You're wonderful in the film. Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy?
Merci, merci. I had a great time. I got to work with these guys, and I'm here in France with you, and having and this kid's blue eyes are shining this morning, and yeah, we had an amazing time shooting the movie. This kid will tell you.
Philippe Seymour Hoffman, c'est la 4e fois que vous avez joué
Philip
dans la
Seymour Hoffman, this is the 4th time you've played in Paul Thomas Anderson's feature films. It's always such a pleasure to find his special universe, his special atmosphere, I imagine.
Yes. It is always special. Yeah, it is always special. It's always, how do you say, tight and familiar and comfortable and open and fun at the end of the day. Always fun. So, like Adam said, it's a good time.
Yes.
Et vous parlez beaucoup pendant le tournage?
And do you talk a lot together during shooting, or is it more unsaid exchanges of glances now that you know each other well? Must be real cooperation.
Actually, what's happened now is that we don't talk about the film that much at all when we're on the set. We talk a little bit about it, and then we usually just talk about other stuff. and then yeah, it is more like the talking's done before we start shooting a lot of the time, and then when we get there, we just try a lot of different stuff and really have a lot of laughs, you know, and try to get the best work possible. Yeah.
Paul Thomas Anderson, après Magnolia, qui était un film
after Magnolia, which was a heavier film in a way, you may have wanted to make something lighter, less complicated.
That was the idea, to just make a piece of entertainment, something that was short and sweet and hopefully very simple.
Alors, on a vu un extrait avec Adam Sandler qui dans le film achète tout ce qu'il peut en pudding pour
clip
pouvoir
where Adam Sandler was buying lots of pudding to collect free flyer miles. That's the basis for the film.
It is the basis for the movie, and it's sort of based on a real guy who went and bought $3,000 worth of pudding so that he could collect 1 million frequent flyer miles, and pudding is the core of the movie.
Après, comment vous l'avez construit? C'était
How did you build it around Adam's character, or did you develop all the characters at the same time as a whole, or was it Adam's character who oriented your development?
I don't really remember right now. I think everything just kind of I can never remember the order of how things happened, but I think one of the first things that I wanted to do was write a movie for Adam. And that probably came first, and everything else came second. You know.
Qu'est-ce qui vous plaisait chez lui? Qu'est-ce qui vous intéressait? Qu'est-ce qui vous
What
attirait?
interested, what drew you to him?
What didn't draw?
That would be a good answer. I think it would be his charming good looks, his teeth, his hair, his smile.
Have nice hair. You don't want to touch it, though. just look at it. Touching it's a whole other thing.
And certainly his charm.
Émilie, il y a toujours un vrai plaisir pour vous de revenir à Cannes.
Emily, it's always a pleasure to see you in Cannes. I talked about breaking the waves while we were waiting for you. Do you really enjoy this for this lighter role?
Paul told me that I wasn't allowed to do anything that I'd ever done before in any way, so it was very scary for me. I just had to be very simple and not do anything, and that was kind of a challenge. But yeah, it was fun. I loved it. It took me a while. I had to work that out.
Oh yeah, we rehearsed a lot. We got together, figured a lot of stuff out. The man led us in the right direction, and got very tight, very friendly with each other and comfortable with each other. And Emily's character and Emily as a person certainly made me feel more relaxed, trying new stuff out, and it was quite a nice experience.
Adam made me laugh.
That's right. That's right.
Elle vous a peut-être amené un petit peu plus de, entre guillemets, de profondeur au personnage.
She may have added depth to your character, and you may have brought her more lightness because you come from two different worlds.
Maybe that's true. That's
Because
true.
you're so shallow, Adam.
I am a shallow person. In real life, I'm as shallow as it gets. But in this movie, it seems that I have some depth.
Ok, merci beaucoup. On vous attend en salle.
Thank you so much. You have the press conference now. Thank you for joining us. We have another excerpt from this film, Punch Block Love, presented in competition at the Cannes Festival. Thank you so much.
How much time to process? Hello?
Shake him up. See what this little bad boy businessman is all about. Give him a little dosey-do.
Dean, shut up.
What's the problem?
I'd like to ask if you have any more Healthy Choice pudding in the back here.
Come and get me. This will be your love story.
It's blue, 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 fresh buttered toast.